Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LeTip Live. I'm your host, Doug Freidman, and LeTip is a group of like-minded individuals brought together to help each other's businesses. Today, we have a very special guest, Gary Block. If you attended our board retreat this year, you may have met Gary Block. He led some of the training sessions for our board members and did a fabulous job. Gary is the current president of LeTip of Bucksmont, PA. He is the owner of and creative director of the Design Block, and he works with many businesses around the country with promotional items and marketing. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Gary Block. Gary, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Awesome. So we have a lot of exciting things to share with our viewers today, and we're going to get to know Gary today. So let's dive right in. Gary, what do you do?
Well, I do marketing, graphic design, promotional products. I've been drawing ever since I could hold crayons in my hand, so I've been a creative guy all my life. And
Nice.
I started out, after graduating art school and getting a degree in commercial art. Also got some marketing degrees, and I used to, be just the graphic design guy. But over the years, after meeting a lot of different people and learning a lot of different things, I became a full service ad agency, doing everything from graphic design, developing your logo, developing your brand identity, all your marketing materials, whether it be brochures or sell sheets, signage, whatever you put your logo and your message on to market your company, which was a natural progression to the promotional products. So I do all the promotional products with your logo, and I make sure that everything is branded. So when someone gets your pen, your hat, your mug, regardless of whatever it is, it looks exactly like the rest of your marketing materials.
Absolutely. Great stuff. So how long have you been in LeTip?
I joined LeTip. Well, I'm no stranger to networking because I've been doing networking for close to 30 years, but I've been in my LeTip chapter for 4 years.
Nice. Do you have an interesting story or how you first found or met someone from LeTip?
Well, it's interesting, yes, because I was in. Am I allowed to mention the competitors? I was
You
in.
could just say some other
I was in some
people.
other
Okay.
national networking group, which is the devil. back. So
Satan.
I had started. I was in a chapter, and I didn't like the way that they did things, and I ended up leaving that chapter and starting my own group, and had that. And then I got out of networking for a few years and was busy doing my own thing with business. And then I decided, it's time to get back into networking. And the funny thing is I saw a friend of mine who is a neighbor, and I just happened to be scrolling through Facebook one day, and I see my friend doing his 10-minute presentation. I'm like, I had no idea he was in a networking group. So I'm the easiest sponsor he ever got, because I called him up and I said, Dennis, I didn't know you were in a networking group. I want to come check out your chapter. So nice. I went to check it out, went to a couple other, probably 3 or 4 chapters, but fell in love with this one because the camaraderie and the family and the atmosphere that I got from this one was just exactly what I was looking for. And I joined right there that day.
Awesome. So there's one question.
2 weeks later, Paul Deval was there at one of our meetings, and I didn't know who he was because I was brand new to LeTip. I'm sitting next to him, and the meeting's going on. I kind of elbowed him, looked over him, and said, I'm going to be running this group in a couple of years. And he looked at me like, who is this guy?
That's funny. Hopefully Paul's watching. We love Paul. So that's really funny. Paul's our East Coast VP. So that's very funny. You're nudging him like, yeah, like I'm going to take this off. That's awesome. So there is one question that I ask everybody on the show, and that is, what does LeTip mean to you?
Everything. I mean, it's my sales force. It's my family. They're my go-to people. They're my accountability. They're all of those things. I mean, where else can I go and hire 33 salespeople at an annual fee of $400 or whatever we're charging these days? I mean, I have 33 people that if I do my job correctly each week, and every time I do a visitation, they learn what I do. Now they're my sales reps. I've got 33 people out there every day selling for me because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And I'll
Absolutely.
be honest with you, 85% of my business comes from LeTip.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. We really are a community and a group of like-minded individuals coming together to help each other's businesses.
Yeah. And I get a lot of out of chapter tips, and I give a lot of out of chapter tips because there are categories that we just can't seem to get in our chapter for whatever reason, but they're in neighboring chapters. So I started using members in other chapters in my area, and other members in other chapters started seeing that, and they're like, well, who is this guy? And I started getting out of chapter tips from other chapters as well. So it's a much larger community than just our chapter.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what separates us from pretty much anything on the planet is that we have the LeTip Wire. Let's give LeTip Wire a plug. It's an app that we have that gives us access to all the members across the nation. So like you said, if you don't have someone who's a photographer in your group, there might be one in a group 10 minutes away, and you can reach out to them like, hey, I need your services, and vice versa. Everyone's there. It's a big community across the nation. So the LeTip Wired app is definitely a must have.
Yeah, I'll give a plug for Wired app. It's great. I know a lot of members in a lot of chapters across the country were like, not into the new technology, and we're apprehensive about using it, but it makes your networking job so much easier, especially if you use that extended network.
Absolutely. And even you're talking to someone and you're like, hey, like, do you have a plumber that you're like, absolutely, and you can give them the information to the LeTip app. You just like send them a text message with all the information, phone number, email address. It's so easy. You have
Doug,
everyone's business card in your phone.
It's great. I've become, well, I don't want to say I've become Danny DeVito because I'm not, but I've become that guy, and it's always sunny in Philadelphia. I got a guy for that. No matter what you're talking about, I've got a guy for that.
Yep. Absolutely. So, do you have any, and I don't want to put you on the spot, do you have any tips for people who maybe just joined LeTip, or anyone who's been in LeTip and maybe help them a little bit? Any tips for, LeTip members?
Sure. The first tip is, you spent the money, you joined this, you committed to it for a reason. You always heard you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. But put a lot into it. That first week that you join, look and see who are the people that could give you business and who are the people you could give business with. Don't wait for your visitation. Start meeting with people right away. I'd say meet with 3 or 4 people immediately, because the more you meet with people, the more you're in front of people, the more you say and do, the more it's going to come back to you. There's a law of attraction in this universe, and you put things out, it comes back to you. If you don't put anything out, nothing happens. So if you have a group of 30 people and you wait every month to do your visitations, well, 30 months later, you finally met everybody. That's not going to get it done. You have to know everybody in that group right away. As a new member, you should be doing 2 or 3 visitations a week.
And that's why that one that you're assigned is so important. You should not be missing that one. You should be doing 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
So you shouldn't even miss that one.
And you know what we do is when new members come in, I have it set up in our chapter where our board members, as soon as a new member comes in, our board members immediately call that person and do visitations with them, so that because they might be apprehensive and afraid, and it's a lot. You remember your first time? It's overwhelming. There's a lot going on. So we have a good mentorship program, and our board is really good at not only meeting with new members, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Let's throw them a job. Let's give them a job. I'll give new members a job just to, make them feel good and get them going, see how it is to get tips and get them started that way. Absolutely. I also tell them to get involved. You might not want to be on a board, but be on a committee, even if it's just a mixer committee. Get involved. The more you're in front of people, the more you're involved, the more tips you're going to get, because people have to see you. It's just a proven thing that when you're in a leadership role, or you're on a board, or you're involved on a committee, you're going to get more tips just because you're constantly speaking and constantly in front of people.
Absolutely. This is great stuff. Great interview so far. Thank you, Gary. And I also want to remind everybody at home that we are live. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, we would love you to be part of the show too. So drop your question into the comments area, and we'll answer it live with you today. Don't be shy. Don't be bashful. We'll answer almost everything.
This will
So
be
please
fun.
don't be shy. So please join us today because we are live using some high tech technology here. So let's we covered LeTip, we covered what you do. Let's dive in because now let's blend the two together. So one thing that LeTip is very, very proud of, and we talk about it, and people talk about it all the time, is how during the pandemic, when most networking groups are falling apart and calling it quits, LeTip actually thrived. Um, and grew because we came together and we had each other's back and we made sure we got through it, right? So let's just we don't have to spend too much time on the pandemic because we're trying to get out of it. We're over it, right? So let's but you did a great job of pivoting. So why don't you tell us how you pivoted during the pandemic?
Sure, sure. Well, a couple things. One, our chapter, we really came together. We actually added members during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, and we
Mm-hmm.
created a slideshow, deck pages. We really put together a great virtual, but we couldn't wait to get back to live. But for me personally, when the pandemic hit, it was really, even when it's not a pandemic, whenever times get
Mm-hmm.
bad, the first thing that
Mm-hmm.
gets cut is what? Advertising and marketing budgets.
Yep.
So
Us.
yeah,
Us.
of course. So when the pandemic hit and no more business meetings, no more face to face,
Mm-hmm.
no more conventions, no more meetings, I was like, what am I supposed to do now? So
Yeah.
instead of getting loans and doing all that stuff that people were doing in the pandemic, I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
got to figure out what to do here. So
Yeah.
with the help of a couple of my distributors, I realized there are pandemic type things. There's PPE. I started doing face shields. I started with your logo on it, face masks with your logo on it, no touch tools with your logo on it. And I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of those stickers, those adhesives that go on the floors and the walls, social distance, 6 feet apart.
Mm-hmm.
I would call local businesses. Are you still in business? What are your hours? Are you doing curbside? You need a banner outside of your store so people know where to park, what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I started doing a lot of pickup signage and a lot of those other PPEs. I sold more face masks and hand sanitizers in 18 months than I did in the previous 18 years. So,
Yeah.
for the first couple of weeks, I was just, what do I do? What do I do? And then once I
Yeah.
figured it out, I hit the ground running, and I just on Facebook, on social media, in my meetings, the virtual meetings, I would show the items that were for the pandemic, and it worked.
Yeah.
People started ordering them. I became the go-to guy for pandemic promotional product items.
Very nice, very nice. And one thing that people need to understand, there's no marketing slot machine. There's no where you put in $500 into a machine and then $5,000 pops out,
I
right?
wish.
So like you need to be in multiple places. There's no like everyone's very narrow minded. Like, oh, I need to be on Facebook or I need to have a billboard, like billboard only, billboard only, billboard only. You need to be in multiple places. And I think you might know the number. I think it's 7. People need to see you 7 times
Yes.
before they actually want to
Yeah.
do business with you,
Before the
right?
social media explosion, it was 3 touches. Now it's
Yep.
7 touches. People need
Yeah.
to see your message and your logo 7 times before they even think or remember calling you.
Exactly. So you have a mask, you have a pen, you have, these pandemic touches, maybe sanitizer as a logo, who knows? But these are all touches, these are all recognition. So people see you and they might even, they're not even going to like recognize it. So like when they fill out the form on your website, like, how did you find us? They might say TV, they might say the billboard, but they saw you 7 other times before that
Yes,
even registered, right?
absolutely.
So that's great. So that's great that you were the pandemic promotion king.
Yeah,
um,
that's not a title I want to have. I don't want to make that my
Hey,
tagline, but
that's like the darkest days you overcome like a phoenix.
something like that.
Awesome, awesome. So kind of in the same subject because the world is changing. So you handle the pandemic beautifully. And now I know where I live. I'm in New Jersey. And in Bergen County, the North Jersey area, they've literally have banned plastic bags. Like you go to the grocery store, no plastic bags, and I don't even think paper bags are there anymore. Like you're forced to use these reusable bags. So I know you have some interesting reusable bags that you make for your clients. You
I
want to share
do.
that?
Absolutely. And they did that in our area too. In Philadelphia, there's no more plastic bags. Now in Bucks County, there still are, but it's just a matter of time before it goes away. So
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of these tote bags. And they're
Nice.
great because you get a large logo on there, so you can
Mm-hmm.
see your message is displayed prominently.
Mm-hmm.
You have options of doing it front and back, and this
Mm-hmm.
one is just like a little pack with no gusset. But some of them have gussets on the bottom, and they're great because whenever anybody's shopping, your message is there. Now
Yeah.
this is really cool. I want to show you this. You can put your
Mm-hmm.
logo on it, and it has a little pull tie that when you pull it, it tightens it up, and it can hook onto your wallet or anything in your car. And it's just a little cinch pouch. But when you open that up, it comes out of its own self and it becomes an actual bag. And your logo, again, is now on the actual bag. And I've used this. It holds a lot of groceries. So there's the logo displayed on the bag. So it's on the bag and it's also on the pouch that holds it. And then, so this is the attached pouch that holds it, and that's the bag, and then it crumbles back up and goes back in the pouch. And it's great because it's not this bag that's laying around. It can just stay in your car, stay in your purse. It can be in anything. It's small.
And it's more and more touches. Yes, more and more touches to get with your potential customers, right? And I know I deal with all the time with business owners. They want to know like the ROI, like what's the ROI of these bags going to be, or this billboard. Like, no, you want that. You want to get recognition. You want to get touches. So you might not be able to triangulate where the sales come from a bag, but it's all the more touches that you have.
I'll tell you what, you get more ROI on promotional products than you do any other form of advertising and marketing. And I do all the forms of marketing and advertising. I do billboards. I do commercials. I've done radio commercials. I've done TV commercials. I've done newspaper ads, magazine publication ads. But for the amount of money you pay for an ad or a radio ad or a TV ad or a newspaper or magazine ad, they flip through it. They see it. They don't never see it again. You spend all that money. Well, for a fraction of that cost, you get 500 or 200 or whatever the item is, and you're giving it out. And I got some numbers for you. With promotional products, there's an 88% advertiser recall, 83% like receiving them. There's a 66% pass along rate. So if you hear an ad or see an ad, that doesn't mean your wife is or your neighbor is. But if you give the pen or the notebook or the hat to somebody else, it's passed along. Somebody else is seeing it.
Yeah. Or you're walking around the grocery store with your bag.
Absolutely. Everybody's seeing it.
Yeah.
Right. 53% people use promotional products at least once a week. 47% keep them for a year or more. Your ad's up for a week. It's not less than a year, but the promotional products are the most tangible ROI in any kind of advertising.
I don't think plastic bags are coming back, so it's going to be more than a year. That bag's going to be
not in our lifetime. Maybe in another universe.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Do want to remind you guys, we are live. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comment section. We could answer them live with you today. And there's a lot of stuff
one more stat for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more stat. The businesses that use promotional products are 75% more likely to gain market awareness and business over the businesses that are not using them. It's pretty powerful.
Absolutely. So we are very, very much alike. The more I talk to you, we're very much alike. You're promotional product driven. I'm more of social media driven, and it's the same kind of conversation. Like you might not be able to triangulate where one social media post got you an ROI or business, right? Unless you run it like a Facebook ad or an Instagram. Right. But like the first thing that people are gonna do when like they say, hey, or like they see the bag, right? And they're like, oh, what is XYZ company? The first thing they're gonna do is like go to Instagram and like look you up. And like they're gonna see, oh, what are they doing lately? Like, what have they been posting? Are they a real business? And if you don't have anything up, like, are you a real business? If you don't have any promotional products, do you even exist? Right? So it all comes together. Awesome stuff. Like I said, comment section's open for questions, and there's a busy time coming up right now. Now it's coming up the busy season. So if people want stuff, they better talk to you
Oh
soon,
yeah,
correct?
now's the time. I know we're not even through August yet, but I've got to tell everybody, if you want your holiday items, now's the time. The normal turnaround is 5 to 7, and
Mhm.
it's now 7 to 14. And come September, it's going to be 14 to 21. Come October, it's
Mhm.
going to be a 4 week turnaround. If you wait to
Yeah.
November, it's going to be a New Year's gift, not a Christmas or Hanukkah or holiday gift. So now's the time to start thinking about those holiday promotions, because you can get them in time and have them. And so I'll be talking about holiday stuff from August through September into October.
Awesome, awesome, awesome
Yeah, and
stuff.
breast cancer awareness is in
Mhm.
October. So if you want your pink promotional items with your logo on it, now's the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, we gave some tips for new LeTip members. How about some business tips? How about tips for the members? Anything you want to share to help our community and LeTip?
Well, for our members, I always say get involved. I get, no matter
Mhm.
what I'm involved in, no matter what I join or what I
Yeah.
do, I always get involved in it. And
Mhm.
being involved is the best thing you can do for your community. Our board
Mhm.
just talked about, what can we do to give back to the community? What kind of, is there a charity? Is there a food bank? Is there something that we can do within our community as a
Mhm.
LeTip chapter to let the community know that we care about them? And the community will
Absolutely.
see that our LeTip chapter did that. Maybe there's other business leaders that see what we did, and it makes them do the same, or brings them to our chapter.
Awesome, awesome. Any business or marketing tips you'd like to share with everybody?
Sure. You know, you they you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So make sure that that
Very
first
true.
impression is a good one. If you don't have a good logo, or your logo is outdated, talk to me.
Mhm.
I can give you a free consultation and help you get that logo and all your branding to the point where you're going to get recognized. That's what I do for my customers. I get them recognized. People know who they are. They see their logo and they see their marketing materials and they remember who they are.
Awesome. Great stuff. Last chance for you guys in the comment section for any questions, comments, or concerns. Please put them in the comment section. Gary, what else is going on? Anything new? Anything else you want to share with us today?
There are a lot of new things coming out. The newest thing out there is, you see those little pop things, the little stress relievers.
Fidget
Stress
topper thing?
balls used to be
Yeah.
now these little things where you pop the little holes. They come in all different sizes, all different shapes.
Mhm.
They're not the kind of thing that anybody really uses. They really go to the kids, but they're the hottest
Mhm.
item out there right now. That everybody's buying those things and doing
Nice,
those
nice.
things with all different kinds of shapes.
Nice. I don't want to put you on the spot, but is it possible to make your logo into one of those popper
Yes.
things
Yeah,
or put your logo on it?
yeah,
Nice.
there's nothing I can't do. I could put
Nice.
your logo on anything. As
Nice.
you come up with something obscure, I will be find a way to put your logo on it.
Nice.
And it all depends
Awesome.
on what your budget is and how much you want to pay. And there are stock shapes that you can use, but if you want a custom shape on anything, I'm doing I'm doing a lapel pin for somebody right now, and they are a coach for a cross country team, and
Mhm.
we just did shirts and hats and cooling towels for them. So we did lapel pins, and the lapel pin was, they just wanted like an oval, and I had them. For a few extra dollars, I had them do the actual die cut shape all around the lapel pin, and it makes a much nicer impression. So
Nice.
there's a lot I can do. I can print on any substrate, on any kind of merchandise that you think of.
Nice.
And with
Great
back
stuff.
to
Great
school
stuff.
coming right now, I do a lot of yard signs for back to school for the teams. I do a lot of
Mhm.
magnets for the cars for the teams, a lot of cooling towels for the teams,
Mhm.
a lot of the cinch backpacks that the kids can keep their gear in. So I do a lot of work for a lot of the schools for things that are coming up in the fall.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So I am putting your website here in right now, and I believe it is thedesignblock.com. Is
It
that
is
correct?
thedesignblock.com. And when you go to
Awesome.
the website, you can review my whole portfolio. It's all sectioned out as far as logos, brochures, catalogs, posters. So if there's something specific you're looking for, you can go to the portfolio and look for exactly that. You'll also see at the bottom, click here for my store, and you can go to my promotional product store. And there are search engines that are really great. Across the top, it'll list the most popular things: clothing, drinkware, apparel, bags, things like that. But if there's something unique you're looking for, you can put it in the search bar. Like, let's say you're looking for a specific pen. If you put in pen, it's going to bring up 50,000 different pens that I offer. If you put in pen and a price range, 75 cents to $1.85, it'll eliminate all the cheap ones and all the real expensive ones, and just show you the thousands that are in that price range. Now, if you say you want a maroon pen, it'll limit the criteria and search, narrow it down even better. Let's say you want a maroon pen that gets engraved and has gold trim. Now it will eliminate every pen except for the ones that I can offer you in that criteria. So you could really hone in on your criteria and get the exact item you're looking for. So if you ever thought about getting into a promotional product, go to thedesignblock.com, search around, give me a call. I'll get you the best price on the product that you find.
Awesome. And I'm sure you do this too. If someone's not sure what they're even looking for, you'll do like a consultation and help them every step of the way, right?
Absolutely. Consultations are always free, whether it be on a logo design or a product. If you don't know what you want, I'll sit with you. I'll ask questions. I'll pick your brain. From what I get, I'll come back and suggest 5 or 6 different items. And you may not like those 5 or 6 items, but that may spark you to say, oh, but what about this? And then you'll come up with something else. So I always, I'll ask, what does your company do? What kind of trade show are you going to? What are you using this promotional product for? I'll give you, a case in point. I had an exterminator that I met, and she wanted to order pens.
Yeah.
And I very nicely said, why do you want to order pens? Well, I want to give them to my customers in the fall because I want them to remember me over the long winter when I'm not in their home or on their yard spraying. So I said, well, wouldn't you want to give out a fly swatter? And the light bulb went off in her head. She went, oh my God, that's a great idea. So I'm not like the promotional products guy down the street that's just trying to sell you whatever product of the day is on sale. I'd match up not only the right look of the product, but the right product for what you're doing. Pens weren't right for an exterminator, but the fly swatters were. She called me within a month and ordered more because they all went and people were asking for more.
People like something different.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing I do as well. I'm a branding geek. It's all about branding. And if you do something and there's a certain item that represents what you do, I'm going to convince you that that's the way to go for your brand than to just get a mug or a pen because you wanted to give something away.
Absolutely. And you might, there's a lot of pens out there, but there's not a lot of fly swatters.
That's right. How can an exterminator not give out a fly swatter?
Exactly. No brainer. So if you're looking for a fly swatter and you would like a free consultation with Gary Block, please don't hesitate to go to designblock.com.
For all you LeTip exterminators that are out there,
everyone's an exterminator. And absolutely.
I got you covered from head to toe. Socks with your logo on it, the hats with your logo on it, lip balm, everything, ear muffs. I got you covered head to toe.
Very nice. Very nice. So one thing that I can't believe I totally forgot, I should have mentioned this at the very, very beginning, is that you are our Communicator, which is our LeTip Magazine, featured member of the month. So first and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So you guys definitely want to check out Communicator. So you can get up to date with all things LeTip. We have a World Series summer contest. So if you like baseball and you're trying to go to the World Series, well, we're giving away 2 tickets. So you might want to check that out. We got the story of Gary Block's article. And we have a bunch of other articles from around LeTip. So you definitely want to check out LeTip Communicator. It's emailed to you, so check your spam folder because it might be sitting in your spam folder. But it's emailed to you once a month with all updates and all things LeTip.
It's also in Wired. You can go into Wired and see all the past ones. And I do that from time to time. I'll go and I'll look at them and I just learned something about somebody that's fascinating. And even if I can't use their service, I'll call them just on something I read in their article because I want to just chit chat with them, pick their brain, get some nuggets of information that maybe I can bring back to my chapter. So it's a great read on all of them.
Yeah. When you're a member, like there's a lot of resources for you to use. We got the Communicare, we got LeTip Wired, you got people from other network and other chapters at your disposal. So you really you want to know. Oh, and don't forget. Speaking of Paul, before Paul and Summer also have the lunch bunches and the happy hours,
And the
which people
power hour too.
They're the power hours. There's all these like, I think there's something like every day where, people across the nation are coming in and meeting together and passing each other's business and picking each other's brain and learning something. So, it's great to be in a chapter and show up to every meeting, but there's so much more that you can do to help your business. And there's so much resources out there to help you as well.
There really are. I'm a regular member of the Lunch Bunch, and we meet with members all over the country. Some are board members, some are not, but we share ideas and different things, and we learn about things. I developed a white badge contest for my chapter last year that really worked, and I talked about it a little bit as the membership coordinator in the retreats, and I've had people from all over the country reaching out to me. Oh, can you send me the rules for that? And I've shared it with everybody all over the country. The lunch bunches are great. I had mentioned earlier about inner chapter tips. I didn't go to the lunch bunch to get more business. I went to the lunch bunch because I'm a strong believer of, having our chapters all relate and be friends with each other, as opposed to like, have good competition, but not like, anti other chapters. I have gotten several out of chapter tips because I'm on that lunch bunch. So it's really a good thing. And you can learn things. And if you're in a leadership position, if you're on the board, come to the lunch bunches because, like I said, there's a lot of really good nuggets. I've learned a lot of things that I've instituted into my chapter. And I come back to my board meetings, I'm like, we should do A, B, and C. And they're like, where'd you come up with that? I'm like, these lunch bunches, they're great. There's like, we're just sharing ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely shout out to Paul and Summer for running those lunch bunches and bringing everyone together. Tons of resources here at LeTip. And if you actually are seeing this and you're not actually in LeTip, I'm going to put that in here, letip.com/social. This would be the site you want to go look to get more information about LeTip. So that's letip.com/social join, and you can find out more information and more ways that you can help your business and potentially become part of LeTip. So if you're not a LeTip member, thanks for joining us, learning more about us. And if you want to learn more, check the link below. Last chance, if anyone has any questions, you can put them in the comments section. But this has been great. We learned a lot about Gary, a lot of useful information. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Gary. Last chance for you. Anything else you want to share with the people at home?
Sure. I just, take a look at your marketing materials and I will just give you a free consultation. I will give you some advice. I will give you some ideas. If you want to move forward with them, great. If not, at least, you got to learn a little bit about what your marketing is doing for you.
Great stuff. Great stuff. So if you want to learn more about Gary, check out thedesignblock.com. And if you're interested in being in LeTip and knowing more about LeTip, definitely check out letip.com/social join. I think that's it for us today. It's been great talking to you. It's been a pleasure. Any questions, comments, concerns you have for me, Gary, before we go?
Not at all. This was the first time I ever did a live podcast. Didn't know what to expect, but you run a great show. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Pretty painless, right? We didn't break any bones. Good stuff. Well, thank you for joining us, Gary.
Surprised there was no questions. Maybe I explained everything too well.
You did great. You did 100% great. It was awesome. And this is live and people can rewatch it over and over again. We're going to pull out clips of the nice little nuggets and share that with the world as well. So thank you, Gary, for joining us. And thank you all at home. And we'll see you next time on LeTip Live.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you.